Hello everyone, Brick Horizon here, and this time we have a modification of the 75302 Imperial Shuttle. This set was originally released back in 2021, and I still remember getting it soon after it was released. I've had it for a while now, and I wanted to change it up a bit by doing something new. When ANDOR came out, I was so excited to see how many new vehicles were being introduced into Star Wars, and one of them was the ISB Tactical Shuttle. I made a review a while back about the UCS version I made, so if you want to check that out after this review, I will have it on the end screen. I also have this model in hand, so you know that it works. Since this is a modification, it is based on a LEGO set, so it has to be good, if not better than their official version. Before I get into the video, I'd also like to mention that the instructions are available on Rubricable, which you can find through the link in the description. This shuttle really popped out to me. It has many new features and design choices that reflect the way that Andor portrayed the Empire. The original Imperial shuttle was very sleek with all white and very subtle gray markings to differentiate them. This version is very bold and a bit clunkier. Its cab is extended in the back to make room for more troops and a ramp, and it uses a lot more black. It also seems to take after the Sentinel shuttle concept art from Rebels and the EC Henry Theta class shuttle. With the backstory out of the way, let's compare the original set and the modification. A lot of people had problems with this version of the Imperial shuttle because it was smaller than the last one they made, and it was weirdly proportioned. The bottom of the cockpit had a large dark gray plate and a lot of black, which probably should have been all white or at least light gray for contrast. It was also very bulky and ended up looking way weirder than it should have. I personally didn't have a problem with this, but looking back on it, there were some major improvements to be made. This modification takes care of those mistakes, but also transforms it into the new ISB shuttle. This version is shorter than the original shuttle, but also a bit longer. The ISB shuttle from Andor is already a smaller variant of the Imperial shuttle, so making it any bigger would be even more inaccurate. Another reason was the scale and proportions. Making the wings and fin smaller by condensing it makes it look a lot better. Fun fact, there's actually an animation error in one of the scenes that the new shuttle is in. You might notice that the landing gear is extended while it's in flight mode, leading it to clip through the wing when it shouldn't. I saw this early on, but hadn't seen anyone else mention it, so I thought I'd say something here. You might also notice that there were some more changes, like the nose of the shuttle being cut off. This is a pretty significant change from the Imperial shuttle, but you can see why. The window is a lot larger when compared to the ratio on the original versus the plating, but this one is also flat on the front instead of making the wedge shape like the Tidarium is known for. Some people didn't even notice this, but I think it's an interesting detail for sure, and they even made the neck taller so it looks like a turtle now. To do this, I extended the original base, including the same structures and snot technique for the details to get the right height. From the side, you can also see how much taller it is now, and you can see how much better it is than the one LEGO made. One detail that designers tend to forget is the grooves in the wings. This version of the shuttle changes that by extending the grooves to be on the outside of the wing and giving it a nice black border. There's also a different amount of black on the inside versus the outside of the wing, with the top of it having a thin border all the way around and the back having a thicker portion, taking up about half of the wing and including a 2x2 round plate as the Imperial logo. The way this was built is by stacking wedge plates on top of each other and slightly offsetting them. I also replaced the original light gray Technic beams and Technic connecting plates with more accurate colors. These now blend into the black and the white, where otherwise it would have been light gray and wouldn't have matched. The building process was simple, and I fixed a few errors in the previous instructions. The build took about 3 pretty busy days, but that includes disassembling, sorting, and rebuilding the modification. There are some more details like the black stripe and the added grill piece that I used a very familiar technique on. This uses the double-sided snot plate to get the grill on both sides. I also did this on my UCS version and used this technique to make the wings double-sided. On the smaller version though, I wanted to keep it simple, so even though there are anti-studs, it's still more detailed than Ahsoka's Jedi shuttle. I also kept a small detail from the original set. Both shuttles have lights at the end of the wingtips to show that it's in flight mode. The original set and official art shows these as yellow, and it even uses yellow, transparent 1x1s, so I kept these as an homage even though the TAC shuttle has white lights. Although this is very easily replaceable. One of the other things that was changed from the Tidarium is the placement of the cooling intakes. The Tidarium has them close up to where the wings connect, so it's lower on the body. On this version, it's actually higher up, and I just noticed why while writing the script, but it's because of the placement of the engine and the engine glow being moved above the ramp in the back, instead of just being on the lower end. Moving to the back, you can see where the old version ends and where I extended it here. The original set used the snot technique and slopes to get the angles, while I added a ball joint to get this angle and details using plates. I also like using odd numbers in my Lego work, so one of the things that I added that works really well here is the way that these two angles meet in the back. It's offset by about half a stud on each side, so I was able to use this technique where I connect a Technic hole and a snot brick to get this unique shape for the back. The last thing I included was the engine glow. This shuttle changed so much about the Tidarium, but at least they showed us where the propulsion comes from, and I think it's really nice that they even included the change to where the coolant intake is. Unfortunately, I had to remove one feature from the set. You can no longer tilt the large fin back to access the interior. It's still removable, but because I needed to extend the back section for the ramp and extra details, it's no longer able to pivot. Fortunately, you can still remove the top fin if you want to access the interior, and while you're still able to hold it by the top, I'd suggest being careful so it doesn't disconnect. The interior was slightly improved, with there being two seats on either side. I didn't change much about this part because there wasn't much to change, but if you look at the back, there is some extra room where the ramp is, and I couldn't remove the Technic beams that are in the way since they're important to the structure, but there is some room back here for some extra storage. I wanted to be able to fit a minifigure back here too, and technically you could, but there just wasn't enough room with the loading ramp, which you can pull down to see the inside. I wasn't able to get this one to extend like my UCS version, but it still looks really nice. I've been getting a lot of questions about only buying the extra pieces. My modifications include all the parts necessary to build it without the set, but some people get confused with this because they only want to get the extra pieces. So I'll give you a quick rundown on how to sort it with just a few clicks. On Rebrickable, in the Inventory tab of the mock, there is a button that says Compare. You can click on this and enter the set number, which I always include in the title of the modification, and then export the extra pieces to only buy what you need. I hope this helps so that you could do the same with the ISB shuttle modification or the MDT set modification that I made. This has been a really fun build for me, and it brings life back to an older set that many were unhappy with. Getting to play and swoosh this around is great, and it brings back memories of when I first got this set. Plus, it'll go great with my other ANDOR mocks, including one that is coming up soon. The last thing that I'll say before ending this video is that buying all the parts is still cheaper than the original MSRP, since the Imperial Shuttle was $70 at release and now it's only about $60 with the modification. Plus, it's about 300 more pieces than the original piece count, which is insane especially compared to LEGO prices now. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then please like and subscribe and leave a comment letting me know what you'd like to see next. I'll be working on a lot of mocks for now and future modifications of some of the other sets in this wave. I have one more thing that really changes things, but it will probably take a while to finish since I'm working on other things at the moment. And don't forget to check out my review of the UCS version and let me know if you'd like to see that one remastered like I did with my Skeleton Crew videos. So thank you all for watching and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.